All right, here we go. How you doing, Anna?
I'm great. How are you, love?
I'm good. I'm Mark, and this is the official debut of a
Yes.
podcast we've been thinking about for a long time. We've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, so this is our first official run at a podcast. We've done other videos.
Yeah, we've done other joint videos together. I'm Anna Howerton. I'm a relationship coach. I work with couples in crisis that are in relationships that are struggling, that are going through divorce, after divorce, or couples that want to stay married and just need a pattern change.
And I'm Anna's husband. Yeah, Mark Howerton here, marriage and family therapist. And I've been doing therapy for a long time. And I love working with couples and individuals, anyone who wants to advance themselves. And so I typically see folks of all walks of life who are wanting to better themselves, better their relationship, better aspects of their lives. And so it's pretty fun. And, for me personally, I have to say one of the motivations in doing this is all day long, I have these wonderful conversations with people, individuals or couples, about life skills, about relationship, about, really, the dynamic and intimate, aspects of their life and ways that they're growing, way they want to grow, way they need to grow. And it's, really powerful. Therapy is a really powerful tool. Not saying that I'm this amazing therapist, but I'm saying the process of getting into that intimate, vulnerable dynamic of who we are and who we want to become is very beautiful and very powerful and really invokes change. And I get to see change and growth happen on a daily basis. And I love it. I love my work with my couples, my individuals. But there's elements of it that I'm like, I wish I could tell this to a lot of people, not just one person or not just one couple, but a lot of people or a larger group or anybody who might be interested in advancing themselves and growing. So here's some of the principles that I, talked about in therapy with a couple or with an individual to this larger format. And I'm going to share some of those. Obviously, confidentiality will never be compromised. Anonymity will always be respected. But the principles or the ideals or the things that I'm talking to my clients, my couples about, are absolutely transferable. And so Anna has such a passion for love and relationship as well. I thought what a great opportunity to kind of combine our work and our effort and our desire to be a larger source of encouragement and influence to more folks and give this thing a go.
Yeah. I think the other thing I think a lot about is that I think all of us learn through story. And I know in different seasons of challenging times in my own life, it was always really helpful for me to listen to a podcast or read a book or read an article about someone going through something similar to what I was considering or what I was going through. And so I think Mark and I also wanted an avenue to share some of the lovely, empowering stories of our clients that we work with, again, with total anonymity and nothing being betrayed at all, but just sharing some of the, as Mark was hinting at too, like universal truths that we all struggle with at different points in our journeys, and to include our own marriage, because one of the things I love that I hear people say often is we teach what we need to learn. So Mark and I are over a year now into our marriage, which is a second marriage for both of us. And I think, I feel deeply motivated to want to teach and learn myself because we are needing to learn also how to get this right in our own marriage and are generally happy and open and vulnerable to share like what's going on with us and what's worked well for us and what, we're prioritizing in our own relationship and marriage.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And certain levels of disclosure, again, are part of our work, to kind of share how we're growing and learning a certain poignant theme or, a certain lesson that becomes
Yeah.
very apparent through our conflict or through our connection or through our struggle. And we want to share that as well. So as we think about starting this and making this a regular thing, that's our objective to lay this out on a regular basis. We came up with some core values that we want to share and things that again truly guide us in our personal life, in our practice with our respective clients, and now in this modality of a podcast or a video format. And so key values that we have first is the notion of authenticity. We value being genuine. There's so much just kind of performative facade artificial, fake stuff out there. I think it's really important that we need to be genuine and not perfect by any means, and real and authentic.
Yeah. and vulnerable. Like I think one of the things I really love about the work I do, and what I loved as a client of coaches and therapists for many years, is when they share stories of other people, again with anonymity of like going through a similar thing, because this work that we do is very vulnerable, and so we want to be able to be vulnerable with you guys about our own lives and what where we're struggling, what's going on with us, and what's working well, what's not, and then also share some of the vulnerabilities of our work, because otherwise you think you're alone and you think that you're the only one who ever struggled with this. And so we wanted vulnerability to be part of that authentic
Yeah.
nature of the work that we're going to do here.
Yeah, and the hope along with that is real life illustrations. Again, whether that's through anonymity, a disclosure of something that we're struggling with, or some of the reoccurring themes we see in our work, and that it's real. It's not just textbook theory. It's actual application in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so vulnerability, authenticity, honesty, that's a huge value we have. Second value is that it's growth oriented. We were very practical, again, in our own life, professional life, and now here to say we want to give and think about and learn practical tools that will help us advance. And so the hope is it's very growth oriented. I don't believe we're wired to be stuck. But so many times people come to us and say they feel stuck or trapped or kind of overwhelmed in what feels like a situation that's overwhelming, and they can't do anything about it. There are tools. Certainly, there's burdensome moments and hardships and things you go through that are really difficult, but there's tools to move us forward, and so we want to be very pragmatic in the tools that we bring.
Yeah, so we're guessing you're probably here maybe because you are someone who's oriented towards growth and a growth mindset. And so what we hope to do and sharing on a weekly basis here on YouTube is give some tools, some practical applications. Like how can you take what we shared about this story of this couple or this client, and how do you apply that to your own relationship, your own marriage, your own
Yeah.
dating scenario? How do you, have real world takeaways from what you listen? Like we're not here just to, chit chat with each other. We get to do that on our own without a camera. So we'd love to share tools, practical applications, real world takeaways for you to then go back and implement it or try it out in your own life. And we'd love to hear your feedback. If there's certain things that you do and try that we suggest that we know have worked for us or other clients of ours, we'd love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, yeah. And in so doing, we could even role play or actually work something out in real time. That might be kind of
Yeah.
a
Oh, that could be
scary
great.
idea, but yeah, yeah. The hope is that we're promoting in growth this willingness to change, this willingness for awareness, self-examination, analysis, and activating towards healthy growth and change. So, yep, growth is a big value we have. The third is this.
And ideally a willingness to look inward. So that's a big thing,
Sure.
right? Like when we work with clients who either have a partner or spouse, we maybe one of them has come to us, but the other one is not willing to like change or go to coaching or therapy or make any changes, that can be really tough. And so I just thought it would be important to call out in
Great.
terms of how this
Yeah.
would work or be helpful is everyone's willingness to look inward and say, what could I do different?
Yeah.
Because Esther Perel makes the joke that couples have for decades come to her. She's a very famous couples therapist out of New York. And they're like, okay, so like as long as, we're here because Mark really needs to change. So whatever we can do to help him get better, be different, like that's why we're here. And so a key like cornerstone of coaching, therapy, relationship movement and change moving forward, that growth is a willingness to look inward.
It's great. Yep, I love it. I love it. So yeah, that humility and openness to
Mhm.
learn and desire to grow is great. The third key value we have is the word hope. We want to and believe in the foundation of hope. Things can get better. We understand through deep empathy and sympathy and compassion that things feel overwhelming and hard right now, but there is a sense of hope. There is a beautiful value in intimate relationship, in developing your relationship, in curating the sense of connection that you can have in your relationship. That longing for a deep and intimate relationship is 100% a valid human desire. And it's not a fairy tale. It's not something that is unobtainable. It may be through challenge. It may be through a difficult road. It may be through speed bumps and difficulties, but it is accessible. So we want to be advocates for hope. You're doing the right thing by willing to look at yourself, be open to relationship, grow in that relationship, and experience the joy of fulfillment of relationship.
I'm so glad we have this recorded because you're saying some things that feel really lovely. Like you can believe in the fairy tale. Did you even say that?
What? What?
I think it's, the idea of giving hope that things can get better because a lot of times couples come to us when they need a pattern break where things feel so hard and so bad that it is unsustainable. It doesn't even feel it is unsustainable. And so we like to be this bastion of hope and encouragement that it can get better. You don't have to stay where you are. Change is possible with the right tools and mindset and practical applications. Like you're human and you're going to continue to mess up. So what's one of your favorite phrases is that Terry Real, like the 1% better, like if you, it might feel hopeless where you are in your marriage or relationship right now, but there is always an opportunity to get 1% better
Yeah.
and 1% better. And then eventually that's 30% better, right?
Yep, yep, yep. 1, 2% better over time. Compound factors can really improve and change things dramatically. Anything else on hope?
Just that I think it's important to think about in your relationship that hopefully the good outweighs the bad. That's not always necessarily true, but in trying to give listeners hope, we want to help have a little bit of a reframe of like what's good in your marriage or what's good in your relationship and helping people to like anchor on what the good is because a lot of time just like a reframe and choosing to tell yourself a different story about the state of a marriage or relationship has the power to really change. So the idea that, does the good outweigh the bad in your marriage or relationship? It doesn't always, but if it does, like let us help you anchor into that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one, just again, that you're not alone. If you are going through hardship, there's hope out there, and two, things can get better. Obviously, there's times that it doesn't for other circumstances, but we want to be at least candid in acknowledging, like, no, growth can always occur, 100%. So growth can always happen. Will it be a radical transformation? We'll see, but definitely hold on to the glimmer of hope that we are wired to connect, we're wired to grow. And with that, that's encouraging and hopeful. Okay. And value number four, one that I can tolerate, it's called fun. We want to be candid. We want to be fun. We want to have some, just kind of lightheartedness about this. Yes, relationships have ups and downs. The relationships have idiosyncrasies. Couples have idiosyncrasies. People, personality types, relationships can be this sort of theater of insanity, drama, tragedy, and comedy. And so we want to embrace all of that. I mean, there's a reason there's been so many successful sitcoms that are based around relationships. It's because it's crazy, wackadoodle, stupid how we can be in relationships sometimes. And so we want to be able to be light about it, reinforce the value of play, reinforce the value of laughter. Laughter and play are great empathy and intimacy binding elements. So we want to increase that, and practice that again in our life and as a source of encouragement for folks who are tuning in.
I love that you say you can tolerate fun. And by tolerate, you mean it's your number one value. Your literal top value in life is fun. You've said that
Let's
many
have some
times.
fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mark is an Enneagram 7, so that is the number one top priority is have fun. Sometimes at the detriment to others around him.
What? No, no. Responsibility first. Sure, that's me. So yeah, we'll be lighthearted, but know that we're going to walk the road. And I think the reason that that's a cornerstone value is a lot of the conversations and particular scenarios maybe that you share with us that we might directly address or answer. If you're willing to share a situation with us in time when we have kind of open, live sessions or kind of listener feedbacks. We're open to hearing that. Never will we make fun of hardship. Never will we minimize the pain or vulnerability or struggle or suffering that someone's going through. We 100% acknowledge that with the fullness of empathy and kindness and compassion. But the hope is that there can be an ability to look for light in the darkness. And uh, sometimes it's apparent, sometimes it's very clouded, but know that there's a value as we go through life to say we want to be this balanced experience of seriousness and focus and growth and authenticity and hope, but also that there can be moments of levity that keep us sane in the process.
Yeah, I think we want that. I think we want fun as one of our core four values to really come across, we hope, in these sessions. Because if it's not fun, why would you watch it? You know,
Right.
Mark and I
Yeah.
actually both deeply value fun, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of fun together. We have a lot of fun talking about our work with each other. So there is part of us that the objective is this is to actually give you a little window into our kind of fireside chats,
Mm.
like at night when we're having hot tea and sitting on the couch with a glass of wine or whatever, and like, oh my gosh, how was your day? What happened? Like, do you have any
Mm.
thoughts on this situation? Could you help me? Or would you think of this differently? This is the advice I gave, or this is the coaching I gave. And so we have a lot of fun together. And so we're hoping that comes out, you know, in our work together doing this. And then that is not only just for us, but it is, I think, one of the linchpins for a strong marriage or relationship. Like it's really tough if you're no longer having fun. So that's something we want to inject into our encouragement and our practical applications of like what are way if you're not currently having fun with your spouse or in your relationship, like how do we inject fun into your dynamic? Because I think when the fun is gone, like that's tough. Like when there's no opportunity for silliness, for play, for laughter. I think one of my favorite things about us, babe, is that even we'll have a big disconnect, like big knockdown, drag out fight. And then I don't know, maybe like a month or two later, we can like make a joke about what happened,
Mm.
which is hilarious because at the time it was not funny at all, but we are able to like essentially alchemize or transmute our conflict into something eventually that
Mm.
we're able to turn into play and fun and like, oh my God, like kind
Yeah.
of poke at each other like, can't believe you said that, or can't believe you
Yeah.
did that, or can't believe you were so immature, or I was so immature.
A lot of finger pointing going on. I'm not sure why I'm getting so many. And remember too, fun is light and laughter and silly and play, and we love all that. But fun is also sex, which is a rad part of a relationship. And so we want to, spend time realizing that that's one of the unique ways that as adults we love to play and have fun. And so curating a healthy sex life throughout the context of relationship is also a really fun part of relationship. And that'll be a part of it as well, where yeah, fun can be very broad in its definition. So that'll be a fun cornerstone and fun value. So hopefully this resonates. Hopefully some of these are
Fun will
landing.
be a fun value. Fun will be a
Fun will
fun
be a
value.
fun value.
Fun is
Um,
fun.
Hopefully the totality of kind of what you're hearing us talk about, and who knows, maybe you've directly worked with us in the past and you have direct encounters to individually or times we've worked together with couples. You've had those touch points, or maybe we're new to you, and I hope that you're able to connect and find some community and some support here. And we're really excited about doing this and putting it out there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we'd love your feedback, honestly. We are just starting this out. We're like many people before, like we're starting out. So we have some thoughts and ideas and wireframes of how we want to structure this time each week, what we think will be helpful to you, the consumer. But I think we will probably transition to asking on our Instagram or Facebook accounts, which you guys should go follow us there, for questions or ask us anything, so that we could maybe bring that into some of these to kind of answer some questions from you all and topics that feel important or timely. In addition to, I think we might end up doing some live Q&As at different points. So happy to take feedback on how you would like to engage with us as well as we're starting this new venture.
Yeah, we'll put all our links down below. Please reach out to us any way you'd like. And really glad to be here and really glad that you're here. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.